Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of June 24, 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing week it is. We do have an active sky, but we also have an important sky at that. Lots is going on that isn't necessarily going to be resolved right away. But it is a turning point for a lot of us, and it is a moment of awareness of our own power and also of our responsibilities. So, as you may know, if you've been watching me for a while, I don't normally go in chronological order. I prefer to focus first on what I think are going to be the more dominant energies this week, because it isn't just about what's happening on a particular day at a particular moment, but it tends to be the lead up to those moments, the energy we're feeling, building, and moving forward that tend to define a particular week more than perhaps an energy that isn't as dominant. So let's start with what I think is going to be some of the more important things happening this week. First and foremost, it is Mars going retro. So we are in Mars retrograde season, and now Mars is going to appear to stand still in the sky at the beginning of the week and then appear to be moving backwards. When it is that a planet is changing directions, it is said to be a symbol for when its energies are that much more magnified. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this is this really is the furthest point of this particular Mars retrograde season, the larger Mars retrograde season. It is going to be when Mars returns to where it is now in October. When it returns, that will mark the end of the larger Mars retrograde season. So be sure to pay attention to what is happening in your life right now as it is that we are starting the week and in the first days of the week, because in some way what arises, whether it's questions, whether it's considerations, whether it's feelings in particular, with Mars it has to do with desire, it has to do with motivation, it has to do with what it is that provokes us, what it is that attracts us. Well, it is going to be these things that arise now, these inspirations, these understandings that actually are going to get a whole other look, a deeper consideration once we get to October. In fact, it can be that questions arise now, we may meet some people now, and then they seem to disappear, and it is the answers that come, those people show up again for that further clarity, for that another look once we get a little bit further into this year. So pay attention, of course, see where it is that you are feeling particularly energized, where it is that you are feeling particularly riled up. Now, if you stay tuned to the end of this video, I have included preview horoscopes for Mars retrograde season for each and every sign. It's the first minute of the larger special horoscopes for the Mars retrograde season. That is in the superstar space. That is on my website, and you can check that out and get that preview. And if you want to see more, you can visit my website for that. But do keep in mind that this is a time for the collective in particular. This is a move happening. This change of direction is happening in the sign of Aquarius. And the sign of Aquarius has to do with a few different things, but it does have to do with the collective. It has to do with humanitarian issues. It has to do with change as well, social change and other types of change. And I do think that this is going to be a very important time, especially for all of us to consider where it is that we have power and the intelligent use of exercising our power. If you think about Mars, the glyph of Mars is a circle with an arrow coming out of it, and that circle is a symbol of self-knowledge. It is a symbol of wholeness. It is a symbol of self-awareness. Now, what happens if we know ourselves, truly are at peace with ourselves, and then act from that place, take decisive action motivated from a place of authenticity? That is ultimately what Mars invites us to do, but Mars right now going retro is asking us to go to a deeper place within ourselves, to get more honest with ourselves about what it means to be self-knowledgeable and what it means to take intelligent and decisive action. I also think of Mars retrograde season as a time of understanding more deeply for each of us in our own unique journeys the Serenity Prayer. And so whether you want to call it the Serenity Affirmation, the Serenity Prayer, it essentially says, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. These are three distinct requests of the universe, three distinct affirmations that we make to ourselves and to the universe. And when it is that we have a Mars retrograde season taking place, we are looking at these three parts of this equation and asking ourselves where it is that we have power, where it is we don't. And to find that sense of peace that comes from surrendering what we don't control, but focusing instead entirely heart and soul and energy on where it is that we can authentically empower ourselves. If the sign of Aquarius is anything, it does have to do with authenticity, and it does have to do with truly connecting to a voice of understanding within us, a voice of our own truth and our own inner authority, and acting from that place of truth. There is a unique type of peace that comes from following that journey, from knowing that we trusted ourselves, but also knowing that we acted from that place of self-knowing. So these are going to be part of the lessons for us as a collective, but also in our own individual journeys. In at least one area of life, we are going to be asked to summon and to bring forward the Serenity Prayer. Now, also this week, we do have a rare alignment of the Sun and Saturn. These two planets stand across the sky from each other once a year. And now here we are. This is the moment. And when these two planets stand across from each other, it tends to be a time of being honest with ourselves. It's really a dose of reality, if you will. And it is an honest evaluation. It is looking at where it is that we are willing to sacrifice and what it is that we are not willing to sacrifice. It is looking at ultimately where it is that we are willing to put in the time, to put in the energy, to put in the effort to make larger gains in the bigger picture of our lives. Now, it is the Sun right now that is in the sign of Cancer. Now, if that sounds familiar to you yet, maybe it doesn't. If you're a superstar, it might. That is because next month we have an eclipse taking place in this same part of the sky that the Sun is in now. Whatever it is that feels like a limitation, whatever it is that feels like it's holding us back or feels like it is asking too much of us, ultimately will lend itself to this sense of leaping forward in the best possible sense once we get into next month. Now, of course, I've spoken about that in the monthly horoscopes, and you can check that out for July. Okay, the monthly horoscopes for July do talk about the eclipse, so that's coming up on YouTube a little bit later towards the end of this month, and it's in the superstar space already. Having said that, wherever it is for us, again, collectively or individually, that we are feeling like there are things that we have to balance, or, people acting like they're the boss of us when really, we don't want that, or we can't accept that, or it doesn't feel right. Well, this is where that sense is going to come to the surface a little bit more. And it comes down to really identifying what are we willing to give ourselves to, what are we willing to work towards, and where is it ultimately that we are going to believe that if we continue to put in the effort, greater stability will be found and greater long-term gains will be found as well. Once we get to next month, it's like what feels so heavy, what feels so daunting is going to be leaping forward and delivering very inspiring news. Absolutely. Now also this week, if all of that wasn't enough, we've also got a full moon happening right around the same time as the Sun stands across the sky from Saturn. This full moon is happening close to Saturn in the sky and is speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. So while, yes, Saturn itself can be an energy that can feel tiring, it can feel burdensome sometimes, it can feel like we're just very aware of our responsibilities, very aware of our obligations. They're very much on the surface and very much in our face. And yet we have this full moon that is not only, in a sense, amping up the Saturnian energy, but it's also speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. And I feel as I look at this that this really is wonderful turnarounds and surprises being possible that end up contributing to long-term positive results. For this to be happening in the sign of Capricorn represents an element of ambition and success and what it is that our own individual definitions of success are as well. Where is it in your life that you feel particularly that if you paid attention to this, you could consider yourself successful? For all of us, that answer is going to be unique to ourselves. Of course, there is like sort of one meta response, right? Like what we consider successful is ultimately like whatever, lots of money, lots of fame. But at the end of the day, it is about what matters to you. It is about what you consider is worth achieving, the life that you consider is worth living. And if you get to live it, then you can consider yourself successful. Now, what that looks like for you may very well come into illumination at this time, and at the same time may feel like it gets a sense of a leap forward in the best possible sense as well. I'm really excited about this full moon because I feel like this is going to help us to illuminate our sense of ourselves and to illuminate our sense of understanding of what it is we can do now to create the kind of change that we want, not only in our own lives, but of course in the world and in the collective as well. This can end up being very empowering indeed. It is Uranus, and I've talked about this before in the Uranus special horoscope that I did. You know, Uranus is associated with different things, but it's associated also with a sense of freedom, with a sense of equality, with a sense of personal liberation and authenticity, and just really feeling like you can be yourself and people can be themselves. And this ultimately allows breakthroughs to take place. And a lot of times those breakthroughs can be deeply personal, but if they allow you to truly be in your truth that much more, they end up being that much more meaningful as well. So this is the kind of full moon that says these are the issues, these issues of authenticity and positive change in our own lives, and for all of us very likely are going to come to the surface, but also wanting to ensure that those changes last, that those changes actually have deep roots that ultimately create and have a stable foundation from which to grow. If all of that wasn't enough, we've also got some other energies playing out this week as well. At the beginning of the week, we have Venus speaking to Jupiter. This energy is indulgent, if not overindulgent. What we do want to be mindful of with this, of course, is overdoing it, whatever that is for us. So it could be enjoying our lives, it could be shopping, it could be food, whatever it is for you. It can very well be that we sort of go over what it is that ends up truly being pleasurable to us and feeling like a lot was wasted, whether it's a lot of energy or money or time. In some way we feel like we might have overdone it. Now, of course, it's just about being aware of this. Awareness is a transformative event. Once awareness happens, everything changes. And so with this energy, just being aware of it, okay, there's this energy out there that's saying, shop your brains out, rack up your credit card, which can be the way for some people. And to be mindful that, okay, yeah, I know, I see that energy, but I want to be sure that I like what it is that I'm getting. I want to be sure that it truly resonates as what it is that is right for me. At the same time with this, of course, it is about enjoying our lives. And I do think if we find that right balance, you can enjoy your life, live it up, make yourself happy. And at the same time, don't sell the farm, right? As they say. As we move forward in the middle of the week, Mercury will change signs and move into the sign of Leo. At the end of the week, we'll reach out and connect with Uranus. Now, this is a conversation of some tension. It does suggest surprise. It's not so much the delight of the full moon, but it is, of course, awareness. This is an energy of epiphany, an energy of revealing as well. Now, Mercury is moving into the sign of celebrity, right? And I know I've talked about this a little bit with Venus already in this part of the sky, but look, this is going to bring with it greater conversations around things like celebrity and celebrities. And especially as we get to the very end of the week, there may be some very shocking, surprising developments around a major celebrity that has a whole lot of us talking about it and talking about even larger themes as well. What I love about this week for us, well, look, there's so much to love this week, I must say. Even the energy that feels serious is something to love. I love that Mars is going retro. I do, because I think this is going to allow us to connect with a deeper source of power and to be truly effective agents of change in our lives and in the lives of others around us. I love that the sun is standing across the sky from Saturn, because this is going to be a sense of healthy limits and also a grounding energy as well that can, going forward, create a greater sense of stability. And I must say, I love that full moon. I love the delight. I love the surprise that is part of it. A lot can change now very quickly and very much for the better. And ultimately, this is about changing our understanding of what it is that makes a person successful, how it is that we define success, and where is it that it is truly authentic and truly meaningful. Well, these are going to be things that we are talking about in our own lives and in the collective, and with the full moon illuminating these issues. At the same time, we'll be illuminating great blessings as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up. It means so much. And of course, you can get a video that explains what all this wonderful stuff means for you and your sign by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, early access to monthly horoscopes, next month's horoscopes, all about the eclipse are already there, and so much more. Unlimited access to special horoscopes as well. And of course, as I said, Mars special horoscopes are up on my website, are up in the Superstar space. I will include the previews after this horoscope video, so if you just hang on for a minute, a few seconds, those will start rolling in this video as well, and I hope that you absolutely enjoy them very much. You can find me on social media. I've loved how my social media is growing. Thank you so much for that. I love being on Instagram in particular. I've been enjoying that and interacting with people there. And there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, and of course, YouTube comments as well. I look forward to meeting you there, online, on my website, here, and other social media as well. And thank you. Thank you so much for your trust. Thank you so much for this moment with you. It all just means so much to me for you to be here, to celebrate your lives, to celebrate the sky, and to know that the sky can actually be a great source of hope and a great source of strength. I do believe, and I've said this before, you can't have astrology without the astrologer. And however the interpretation is, what you ultimately end up seeing is the person who's doing the interpretation, what they truly believe, how they truly see the world, and how they truly see themselves. And I would like to see us, you and I would like to see us as hopeful, as believing in the best that we can be, and as ultimately knowing that we can be guided. We can be guided towards action. We can be guided towards wisdom, and we absolutely can be guided towards knowing greater love than we have before in our own individual lives, and of course for the collective as well. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy. Aries, welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope, looking at the Mars retrograde season from May 2018 right to October of 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, what an amazing time it is. Wherever it is that Mars goes, it is a physical representation of you in the sky, making this time that much more important and making it that much more meaningful as well. As Mars will be moving between the part of the sky for you that has to do with the goals you have for your life and your higher aspirations and aligning with your life purpose, and connects it to the friends that you have, the groups you belong to, and your hopes and wishes. It is going to be a time where you start to understand more deeply how it is that other people support what it is that you desire to do, and your understanding of what it is that you are. Hello, Fabulous Superstar Taurus. Welcome to your special horoscope looking at the Mars retrograde season of 2018 from mid-May right to mid-October. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is, and what an incredible transit it is indeed. This is a time when you are truly clarifying what goals, what possibilities exist for you, and get a clear sense of what life purpose inspires you, what motivates you, what energizes you, and what is it that you're really willing to fight for and willing to achieve. Along the way, you are going to be looking a little bit more personally, a little bit more inwardly about yourself to understand ultimately the values that are supporting where it is that you truly desire to go in the highest sense, and that ultimately can only help to clarify. Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your 2018 Mars retrograde season special horoscope. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit it is. We have this powerful energy of Mars getting ready to spend most of this retrograde season in fellow air sign Aquarius, meaning its energy you'll be able to use that much more to your advantage. And where other people might find frustrations, you will likely find motivation, which lends itself to increased opportunities at that. Now, this Mars retrograde season will move mostly through a part of the sky that has to do with things like long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters are covered in this part of the sky as well. And ultimately what this does is help you to... Hello, fabulous superstar Cancer. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope, looking at 2018, mid-May to mid-October, as we go through this rare retrograde season of Mars. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, what an amazing time it is. What an amazing transit it is. For you in particular, there are layers to which I think this transit and this time is going to play out for you. There's a strong sense with this energy that does have to do with understanding resources and understanding abundance in your life and how it is that plays out. But there's another layer to this. In some way, this is connected to your understanding of the people that you're aligned with and the partnerships that you have, and that includes partnerships in love as well. Where is it that love or other business alliances? Hello, fabulous superstar Leo. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope, looking at mid-May of 2018, right to mid-October of 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, what an incredible time it is indeed. For you in particular, it is important in terms of how it is you understand your day and how you're using your time and how well you're using your time, and conversely, another person and how well they fit into your daily life. That's one part of it, but another part of it, of course, with Mars spending most of this retrograde season in your opposite sign, it is love and partnership that is going to come very much into focus in the weeks and months ahead. I'm so excited to tell you about it all. Here are some larger things to consider when you're looking at the Mars retrograde season. Ultimately, what this time is. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season horoscope for 2018, looking at the middle of May right to the middle of October. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, what an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit it is. This is a time that will have you asking yourself what it is that your heart truly wants in every area of life, and how is it that you can live it more fully. A part of this time is going to be spent looking at, yes, flirtation and romance, yes. However, there's another part of this transit as well, and that is going to be focused on what is considered your home in the sky, making it that much more an important time. I'm so excited to tell you about it all. So let's look at some of the larger themes that are playing out as part of this Mars retrograde season. One of the themes is that this Mars retrograde season is going to spend most of its time... Hello, fabulous superstar Libra. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special, looking at mid-May 2018 right to mid-October 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is. What an amazing transit it is. We have this year Mars moving back back and forth between a part of the sky for you that has to do with home. Okay, a little bit of this Mars retrograde season will be spent looking at your foundations and at the home front. But most of it really is going to be spent on matters of heart, matters of flirtation, matters of romance, asking yourself if you have the things your heart truly desires in every area of life. And as part of that, you are set to have a lot more fun, that's for sure, a lot more flirtation, that's for sure, and very possibly you'll find your attention going in a particular direction or two, okay? Hello, Fabulous Superstar Scorpio. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special, looking at 2018, mid-May to mid-October. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit with your ancient ruling planet set to enter shadow in the middle of May, go retrograde from June 26th for a full 2 months until August 26th, and then finally leave shadow in the middle of October. And it is during this time that you are going to find powerful connections between what it is that you are meant to express in the world and where it is that you have been. Along the way, you'll probably spend a lot of time at home, a lot of time with family, and a lot of time understanding what it means to truly be at home with yourself, setting you up. Hello, Fabulous Superstar Sagittarius. Welcome to the Mars retrograde season special horoscope, looking at mid-May 2018, right to October, mid-October 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, what an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit it is at that. We have this powerful Mars retrograde season speaking mainly to a part of the sky for you that has to do with the way that you perceive and the way that you think, and how it is that you are using not only the power of your mind, but the power of your voice, your unique voice in the world, and just what that is for you. At the same time, there is a distinct connection, a link, if you will, to financial matters as well. And when it comes to money you spend and money that you earn, very likely your thought processes and your brainstorming. Hello, Fabulous Superstar Capricorn. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope from mid-May 2018 right to mid-October 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit it is. It is an important one for you, and that is because part of this Mars retrograde season is going to be spent with Mars in your sign, making it that much more meaningful for you. However, most of this retrograde season is going to be spent in a part of the sky for you that has to do with money that you earn and money that you spend. It also has to do with matters of self-esteem and self-worth and self-value, a genuine self-love. And what this guy is telling me, that you are on the verge of deep and meaningful change that is going to start to change your life almost immediately. Hello, Fabulous Superstar Aquarius. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope, going from the middle of May 2018 right to the middle of October 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. And what an amazing transit it is. I do think of all the signs out there, you certainly are one who is going to believe that this truly was and is an amazing time. And the reason is because most of this Mars retrograde season will be spent with Mars in your sign. And Mars is ultimately a symbol of surrender and serenity. It is a symbol of self-knowledge and empowerment, and a symbol that asks you to be brave, to be bold, and to be yourself. Now, ordinarily, hello, Fabulous Superstar Pisces. Welcome to your Mars retrograde season special horoscope, looking at the middle of May 2018 right to the middle of October 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing time it is, and what an amazing transit this is indeed. We have a powerful sky that starts playing out thanks to the Mars retrograde season that will speak to you in profound ways. On the one hand, it's going to touch on matters of friendships and groups that you belong to, but then it goes to what is considered your home in the sky. It goes to a particularly private place and starts working on matters of your psyche and your soul. It starts shifting something within you and helping you to clear the way for the new and the next and the better to follow.